YouTube! Welcome to the Daily Fantasy Perspective. I'm your host, Lucas, with my co-host, Andrew and BJ. This is our weekly Fanduel breakdown entering Week 9 NFL season. How are you fellas doing?
Doing good.
Doing
BJ,
all
how you
right.
feeling?
Andy had a good week.
I had a good week. Looking forward to keeping it going.
Let's do it. Some good calls, some bad calls, everything in between. R.I.P. Kenneth Gainwell. I don't think you hit the field, and appreciate that, big guy. Appreciate that. You were in almost all of my lineup, so thanks, big guy. All right. So yes, we start off every episode the same. We are transparent with our audience. Go ahead. How much did we put in, and how much did we cash out?
Go ahead, BJ.
I put in, I think it was 85, and I ended up cashing out with like 40 something again, like 48 or something like that. So 2 weeks in a row, cut it in half, but here's what it is.
Mr. Andrew?
I was in for 125 and ended up walking with 144.50.
Ooh.
So anytime you come out positive, that's always a good feeling.
It's a great week. I did $50 worth of lineups and had Kenneth Gainwell in every single one but two. And those two were the one that cashed. So I walked away with $18. 50 in, 18 out. Kenneth Gainwell, baby, ladies and gentlemen. I also had a lineup that scored 127 without Kenneth Gainwell. So what could have been. Rough. So, before we dig in to this week's slate, let's go ahead and go over the over-under. Some not very high-scoring games in this week's slate, I'm not going to lie. We start off with New England, Carolina, 41. Buffalo, Jacksonville, 48.5. Atlanta, New Orleans, 42. L.A., or Las Vegas, I do that every single time, versus Giants, 46.5. Vikings, Ravens, 49.5. Cleveland, Bengals, 47. Denver, Dallas, 49.5. Houston, Miami, 46.5. Chargers, Philadelphia, 49.5. Packers, Chiefs, 48. Arizona, San Francisco, 45.5. So, looking at these, this is even lower than when I looked. The release was 150 over under a little bit ago when I looked. Now there's none. So, no games in the 50s, but still some high scoring teams. And I still think there are some teams that we can target in this slate. So,
absolutely.
Let's recap our previous touchdown calls of the week. Sponsored by the Legacy Lineup, available on Apple Podcast
I don't
and
want to recap them, Paulie.
Spotify. What'd you say?
Let's not recap them.
Let's recap them. This was our first rough week with the touchdown calls of the week. Collectively, we went 1 for 6. BJ, who were your touchdown calls of the week?
Well, I had Mike Williams and who else did you send me? Mike Williams and DeAndre Swift, and they both had pretty bad games.
That happens. Andrew, what about you?
I had Kenneth Gainwell and Kyle Pitts. Yep, Kenneth Gainwell and Kyle Pitts, both terrible picks. I apologize for those picks. 2 bad weeks in a row.
I was all over Kenneth Gainwell too, man.
Yeah, I mean they were in spots to produce and they just didn't. So
I called Damian Harris, which actually hit, and I called DJ Moore, which I'm mad at because he had a touchdown hit him in the hands and he dropped it. But 1 for 2, we'll take it. 1 for 6 collectively. We are going to have a better week this week, no doubt about it. So let's go ahead and start digging into this slate. If you guys are new to this channel, if we say anything during this show that helps you win some money on FanDuel this coming weekend, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, drop some questions underneath. We are enjoying doing this. We will do this again all the way up till Thanksgiving. We'll take Thanksgiving week off, and then we'll continue the week after. That's our bye week. Thanksgiving's our bye week. So, if you guys are new to the format, we give you our number 1 plays of the week at each position. We tell you our other players we may play at that position. and then we give you 2 touchdown calls of the week at the end, and we form a lineup that has hit 6 out of 8 times in the money this year. So, play the odds. Most likely you'll cash if you just play that lineup. So let's dig in. I'm going to start us off today with my QB play of the week, and I'm going to the Chargers-Philadelphia game. It was the only game on the slate that had a 50 over-under, but it's actually dropped to 49.5. And I'm going to take the cheaper option, Justin Herbert, as my play of the week. Supposedly supposed to score 26 points. Yes, I know Slay's out there, but they should score some points, whether that's, drop back and throwing it to Eckler, drop back passing at opposite of Slay, and looking for a big tight end game out of Jared Cook. BJ, what's your quarterback play of the week?
Yeah, man, I got kind of a maybe a little surprising one this week, who I really, really like. I like Tua.
Ooh.
Tua is going to be my QB play of the week, man. It seems like he does really well against bad defenses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Houston's one of the worst, so I really could see him going off for at least 20, 27 points, Fanduel points or whatever. So, yeah, it's my call.
Okay. Andrew, what about you? What's your play of the week?
I love both of those calls. I have Tua's QB2 on my list this week. I think he's a nice surprise. Low, cheap option pick, but my favorite quarterback on the slate is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson against Minnesota. They're coming off a bye, playing at home. I just think things are I think they're itching to get back out there. I think they'll put up some points this week against Minnesota. Their defense is not as good as advertised. I mean, they came into the season, everybody thought Minnesota's defense was going to be good, and they're just not there.
Mm-mm.
That's a good call. Let me go ahead and give you guys a couple other darts I'm throwing. This might be a very, very surprise dart, and I'm keeping a close eye on what's going on in New Orleans, because if Taysom Hill is the starter, I am going to throw him in a lineup. He's only 7,000. Let me tell you guys his stats last year when he was a fantasy football quarterback. 4 games, he was the QB3, the QB12, the QB6, and the QB11. The Saints were 3-1 in the games that he played. Those are hellacious stats for someone who's a backup quarterback putting up QB1 numbers every single game he's in, and you're getting him at literally almost the cheapest price you can get a starting quarterback against the worst defense in the NFL. So Taysom Hill, if he's named the starter like I'm projecting in my head, I think that he is going to be in a lot of my lineups. Another dart I'm going to be throwing, I'm going to hit the opposite of the LA Chargers Philadelphia game. Jalen Hurts needs to be in some lineups for his running ability. Chargers defense is not very good. Let's just be honest, especially against the run. And, of course, these big guys up here, you got to throw them in a couple. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, Kyler. They all are going to be in there mix and matched. I'm probably going to put about $50 to $60 into this week again. 12-ish lineups. And, we'll go on from there. BJ,
is Kyler going to play?
That's something to keep an eye on, too. I don't even know who their backup is. Does anybody know?
Me neither.
Did he practice today? He was a non-participant today, so there's a high likelihood that he's not going to play. Something to keep an eye on. BJ, is there any other darts you're going to throw?
Yeah, man, I really like your picks. Like you said, the top 3 guys, you got to throw them in somewhere. Looking down at Aaron Rodgers, he's out, man. Jordan Love's in. Kansas City's defense is very, very bad. They're not good. I think you can throw dart at him.
How much is he? I don't even see him.
I don't even see him on there.
He's free.
He's 6,000. He's free. He legitimately is free. There are.
And I really, really think that he's going to be a stud quarterback once Aaron Rodgers is gone. I think he's ready, man. Sitting behind Aaron Rodgers all these years, I mean, he's going to be good, dude. He was awesome in college.
Playing against a really crappy defense. Anyway, go ahead.
I like him. Man, those picks you said I really like.
That's okay.
I think a dart I would really throw as Joe Burrow against the Browns, man. I don't know what's going on in Cleveland. It's been driving me up a wall all week. So maybe this Odell stuff's getting everybody in Cleveland, and Joe Burrow throws for a couple touchdowns. I put my money on it.
He's thrown 3 touchdown passes in the last 3 games.
It's insane.
Something to keep an eye on. Andrew, anybody else you're throwing a dart on that we haven't touched on?
No, you guys got my top 5 there. I love Herbert. I love Jalen Hurts as well against the Chargers. He's just a fantasy monster. Jalen Hurts is. Josh Allen's going to be in quite a few of my lineups as well. They just they put up points and they don't take their foot off the gas. I mean, It doesn't matter what the score is. They run up the score, so you can't be scared and just throw Buffalo running backs in because you think they're going to be conservative, because they're not.
I like that a lot.
But yeah, those we're all on the same page, which is a good sign.
Very good. So Andrew, why don't you back that up and give me your number 1 running back play of the week?
Well, number 1 running back, we did touch on it. You mentioned that Aaron Rodgers is out, Jordan Love's in, which means sign me up for Aaron Jones. That's my running back of the week for sure. I think he's fair priced. He hasn't done much so far this season, but he really hasn't had to. So I look for this to be one of those breakout games. He might break the slate. Who knows? Because he can do it.
BJ, go ahead and give me your play of the week.
Yeah, man, I'm looking down through here. I really like Josh Jacobs this week, man. All that crap going on over in Las Vegas. You know, the receiving core is very dry. I mean, they got Waller, and Bryan Edwards is going to have to step up. Bryan Edwards really hasn't been that great this year, like everybody suspected. I think they're going to dish off to Josh Jacobs a lot out of the backfield this game, and I think he's going to get a couple touchdowns. He's probably going to be my touchdown call of the week this week.
And we forced you into a Josh Jacobs touchdown call of the week a couple weeks ago, and it planned out.
Yeah, it worked.
I don't have any surprises. Andrew, I am right with you, man. That was going to be my touchdown or my play of the week too. Aaron Jones without Rodgers against one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. How can you not predict them to just, you know what I mean, hand the ball off and just go? Maybe I'll even throw A.J. Dillon to a couple lineups and, do the A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones stack, because they both could hit the end zone. I expect them to pound the rock. It keeps the ball out of Mahomes' hand, and game script-wise, it just makes way too much sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The stars are aligned.
But I'm going to go ahead and give you one more dart that I like that's kind of opposite of yours that's going to be in a lot of my lineups too. And this is going to be a Myles Gaskin's week. I know if you guys watched the Sleeper Starts, Sleeper Sits video, he was one of my Sleeper Starts. He's hard to predict, but he's going against the Houston Texans, who I think I could score a touchdown on. And they just haven't been very good. And I think Tua is going to have a good week, but I think you're going to see this 6 to 10 target range for Myles Gaskins out of the backfield. Their backup running back is out, Malcolm Brown. So he's on IR. So that just leaves him and Ahmed, and Ahmed's only playing about 25% of the snaps. So Gaskin's in there about 50 to 60% of the snaps. I think it's time that he sees some holes against a defense that's not that great. I'm praying that this doesn't happen again, this Jacksonville game. But if he has a good first series, he will eat this week. Any other darts that you guys like? I'm not going to name a bunch this time.
Andy, you go, man?
Yeah. Luke, you and I are on the same page, man. Myles Gaskin, number 3 on my list. I might even do a Dolphins triple stack. I don't know. The Houston Texans are horrible. The Dolphins offense is not that good, but they can put up some points against the Texans, and I predict them to be probably low owned. People are scared of them, and Myles Gaskin really isn't that bad. I like Eli Mitchell this week as well. He's pretty much solidified that backfield to himself. He's good. He's explosive. Fairly cheap price. So, why not? I like Zeke Elliott as well. If Saquon doesn't play, I'll be putting Booker in a few lineups as well. But I'm definitely going to be monitoring that Saquon Barkley situation. And if James Robinson's out, why not throw Carlos Hyde in a couple as well?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cheap option. Do we know if Christian McCaffrey is playing or not?
Everything I've read today said he practicing again, so it seems like he's going to.
Hey, I mean, how do you not throw him in a couple if he plays? I mean, I know it's expensive.
I get really scared that they're just not going to use him the same.
I know. I mean, are they going to ease him in? Who knows? Mm-hmm. They historically they don't. They just let him go.
Yeah, let him do his thing.
BJ, what about you, my friend?
Yeah, man, looking down here, I love Myles Gaskin. I was going to pair him with Tua. I think that, the receiving aspect of Myles Gaskin is pretty ridiculous once he gets out there and they target him a lot more. I like Boston Scott a lot this week, too. They're playing the Chargers, and the Chargers are notorious for this year for having a terrible run defense. So I like Boston Scott again. He was last week. Who would have predicted that? That was just dumb. Yeah. No one that I'm looking at really sneaky. Gore for Kansas City came out of nowhere last week. Never heard of him. No clue. I don't even think, honestly, he wasn't even on the actual slate.
Who is that guy?
You couldn't pick him?
Yeah, you couldn't even pick him last week on the single game. So he wasn't even on the slate.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, so I like him a lot. He looked like he looked good to me.
Yeah, he ran hard.
Yeah, and then another one, man, I'm telling you, we seen it last week, Ernest Johnson. He's another sleeper I really like. I guess since he's since he got they got ran on last week, man.
We got gashed.
Guys, it was unreal. I mean, I couldn't understand it for the life of me, but I think Ernest Johnson, I think they like him in the red zone, man. They did that with Chubb, man.
Yeah,
for some reason, they
the Kareem Hunt role for sure.
Oh, easily. They always do that with Chubb. They take him out in the red zone, they throw in somebody else. So expect him to get a couple red zone touches if they do score, and if Odell Beckham in on the sideline crying.
And I think we got to talk about Austin Eckler again. The highest scoring game on the slate. I think that's a good building block for you to do. Pick your 4 favorite players from that game, then kind of build around that. That's a safe option. I've been looking at the winning lineups the last couple of weeks, and that's kind of what they're doing. They're taking a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, and another running back from the highest scoring slate, from the highest scoring game, and building around that. So Austin Eckler and Boston Scott both very much in play for me. And depending on who the QB is, Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook, I mean, they're going to eat too. These high guys are hard to predict, very hard to predict. My last sneaky play of the week is Cordell Patterson, and I like him as a receiver this week more than a running back. Look at these numbers, guys. 15, 13, 15, 32. I mean, you're putting this guy in your lineup and getting 15 points pretty much consistently. I don't think they're going to be able to run very well in the New Orleans defense, which is going to cause them to get to passing situations. And that fits Cordell Patterson's role very, very well. Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. Wide receiver. BJ, who's your wide receiver play of the week?
Yeah, man. Hold on a second. He's out. What the heck? My bad. They got Marlon Mack out tonight, so I don't know. My wide receiver play this week. Man, I got a couple ones I really like this week. Looking down there, I know Russell Gage, man. I can't believe he didn't do anything last week with Calvin being out, but I think he does something this week. With Calvin, I don't know what he was going through, whatever he did, but he's out. I think Russell Gage gets ends up starting to get a lot more targets this season. He'll end up being their wide receiver 1. I don't know if you count Pitts, but
and Patterson.
Yeah. But I think Russell Gage he'll start to see uptick in targets for sure.
Andrew, who's your play of the week?
My play of the week is Marquis Brown, pairing him up with Lamar. I think that loss before the bye kind of put a bad taste in their mouth, and I think they're going to come out and fire on all cylinders, run up the score against the Vikings, whose defense, as we talked, is not that good.
He's getting more and more expensive each week.
Yeah. You were probably shocked to see him there, weren't you?
Yeah, I couldn't find him. I thought he was in the 6s. And
people are going to be fading him at that price.
I'm with you too. I'm kind of going with BJ's approach this week. I'm going with someone who gave me a big fat 0 last week. Russell Gage was on my bench in one of my leagues. He gave me 0. This guy gave me 0 too. And usually, when that happens, they know that happens. And you got Emanuel Sanders here, who was a top 24 running back before last week, giving you a goose egg. You don't think they're going to force feed him the ball? They're not going to let that happen again. Going against Jacksonville, Emanuel Sanders, big game this week. I'm going to let you guys know he's going to be one of my touchdown calls of the week. I'm throwing him in the lineup.
Wow. I love it.
Some other dots I'm throwing at. Some other darts I'm throwing. You got to go with Christian Kirk if Kyler plays, because AJ Green's already out. I think that kind of opens up the field for Christian Kirk on that side, one-on-ones on that side. And I think it's time that Jarvis kind of has a good game and they start force-feeding. Odell's finally off the field. The offense looks a lot better with Odell off the field. If you guys didn't get to tune into our football betting perspective, I gave my perspective on the Browns situation. The offense is more fluent when Odell is not on the field for whatever reason. I don't know why. You think you put someone of that caliber on the field to look better, but it doesn't. It's about time Jarvis has a good game. Any other darts you guys are throwing?
Go ahead, BJ.
Yeah, man. I like Emanuel. Like you said, dude, the big goose egg last week. I'd go right back to him this week. Emanuel Sanders. I like him a lot. I really, really like Devontae Parker if he plays this week. I love him this week. If he plays, the last time I picked him, he didn't play, but he wasn't a limited participant in practice the last time, I don't think. So now he's actual Thursday. That's a pretty good sign when they're practicing on a Thursday. Love him this week. And then you can't – this is the play I think you can't go wrong with. Jerry Judy at 5,800.
Too cheap.
That's way too cheap.
That's way too cheap for him. That's way too cheap. I mean, his first game back, 4 targets, and his first game back from a high ankle sprain. That's, they're going to find a way to get him a ball, man.
He plays in the slot too now, and you have Diggs taking Sutton out of the game, so it's going to open up a lot of Jerry Judy. And I'm also going to be stacking a little bit of Hurts and Devontae Smith. I think that's a pretty good stack this week.
Yeah, I like that too.
For sure.
Andrew, any other darts that you're throwing? I know there's a lot of receivers.
Yes, there is. It's a good week for receivers. Either Mike Williams or Keenan Allen. You take your pick. I'll probably be going to Mike Williams.
Who do you think Slay's going to guard?
That's a good question. I think he's on Keenan Allen, in my opinion.
Really, I think he's going to guard Mike Williams. I don't know.
It is a very tough call, but I'll probably be throwing some darts at Mike Williams. Keenan Allen's probably going to be a popular play at his price, and he had a good week last week. So I'll probably fade and go Williams. I like Bryan Edwards at 5,300 with the Raiders situation. I think Bryan Edwards, I think he gets going. I really do. He's too talented. I like Kadarius Toney as well for the Giants. I'll be throwing him in a couple lineups. What do you think about him, Luke?
He runs great routes. Statistics aren't in a 4-year starter in college's favor. They don't really do well when they come to the league. But how much is he? He's doing really well.
He's 5,700.
He gets open every play, man. You start watching him breaking down the film. I mean,
he's a freak.
Gets out of those breaks.
He's a target hog too, man. For just coming off a rookie season, that's crazy.
I like him a lot.
But you touched on Jerry Judy. I like Jerry Judy as well. For 5,800, that's just too cheap for some of his caliber.
Henry Ruggs at 57.
And Odell at 6,000. Not bad.
Oh man.
Yeah. I like Jalen Waddle as well. That's another one I wanted to mention. I know BJ likes Devontae Parker. I think Waddle's look
at this.
Target hog, red zone threat.
That's insane.
Yeah. They just pepper him.
Start the Bama boys, man. Waddle, Judy,
Ruggs,
man, Ruggs in the slot and flex.
Dude, they are so good together. That's crazy if they were on the same team. To be honest with you,
That is insane.
It's ridiculous.
So I think we're all pretty much on the same page. So let's move over to the tight ends. And I think there's a couple tight ends that stand above the rest this week. But you got to go with Darren Waller, right? Got to.
That's my favorite.
You have
He'll be
to.
so chalky, dude.
Chalky is all get out. But if you want to avoid the chalk, I think there is somewhere you can go, and that's Mike Gesicki, Miami Dolphins. Last 4 weeks, combined fantasy points, number 1 tight end in the NFL, Mike Gesicki. And this tells you how bad the tight ends are. He's only scored 8, 18, 15, and 6. You remember when Travis Kelce was scoring 24 a game? Well, last year.
I remember those days.
But this is, I mean, you like to see this. He's getting those points. Any other tight ends you guys like? I think Darren Waller is going to be super chalky, but I think you have to throw him in a couple.
Darren Waller is number 1 on my list. Gesicki's number 2. Tyler Conklin, I'll probably be throwing him in a couple lineups as well. As just on the other side of that Ravens game, I'll throw him.
I like him, man. He gets a lot of targets.
Yeah.
7,
yeah,
5,
he's not
3, 6.
If Irv Smith would have had a hell of a season this year, man.
Oh my gosh.
I was so high on him.
Yeah, we drafted him in Strokers League, both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even freaking play.
Mark Andrews, just as a Raven, on the if I'm not taking Marquis Brown in a lineup, I'll throw Mark Andrews to stack him with.
Good.
I like it too.
Anybody else, BJ, for you?
Yeah, man. I like Dalton Schultz. I don't know what's going on with Cooper and Lamb. I expect them both to play, but still, this dude's a target hog for a tight end. It's crazy. Especially, I think Dak will probably be back, and Dak loves him. So
he's back. Yeah,
he had 7 targets with Cooper Rush under the snap. Another one that I really like. Here's just a sneaky play. I agree with you guys on Waller and everything, but the same game, opposite tight end, Noah Fant out. I like this Albert Aquanunum guy.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about him.
I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about him.
He is good, dude. I remember last year when Noah Fant got hurt with that high ankle or whatever happened to him. He came in last year and he was on one of the winning slates, and he had 7 targets and a touchdown and 50 yards or something like that. He's actually really good. He would be a starting tight end somewhere else. I guarantee you.
In order to pick him, do you have to pronounce his last name right?
I think so.
You have to pronounce it. Then the tight end spot opens, and then it
put that.
Gotcha.
Nice. Aquaname Bama.
And I'm also going to be throwing just a couple of Jared Cook shares and Dallas Goedert, just because I really like that game stack, high scoring.
Sprinkle it in.
Disappointment. I beat you probably last week because he gave you 5 points.
Bro, you didn't even have a starting receiver and beat me.
I didn't even start Devontae, dude.
I was just like, dude.
I kind of felt bad, bro. I didn't even want to text you guys. I was like, that's rough.
It was rough, dude. And dude, he was open in the end zone multiple times, dude. I was just like, dude, what are you looking at?
That's so frustrating.
As a Browns fan, you can write it in your damn book. CJ Uzomah's going to hit the damn end zone. There's no doubt about that. Tight ends versus the Browns. Every damn week, man.
I like that pick a lot.
Moving on to the defense plays of the week. What are you guys feeling on that defense?
Give me the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
3,300. Hey,
you gotta take I like that. You gotta take a gamble with it.
I'll pick them in a couple. You better believe it. For that price, rookie quarterback, you just never know.
Yep. What about you, BJ?
There's a lot, man. I mean, Buffalo against Jacksonville. I know it's a high. They're the most expensive, but they're very I was listening to you guys, you and Jim talking last night, and it seems like every week Buffalo's defense just gets better and better and better. And
12 points.
Jacksonville's struggling. I know. Jacksonville's struggling. I don't think Robinson's going to play. That's their whole offense. So you can't go wrong.
First defense over 5,000 I've ever seen on a Fanduel slate.
Yeah, that's
crazy. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That's completely ridiculous.
I didn't even know that. Usually they're all capped off at 5. That's crazy. But also, I think you could throw a dart at the Dolphins too.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going mid-range, I'm going Dolphins or Panthers.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
No, it's got to, man. And Yeah, that's probably all I'm going to hit. Now I've looked at those.
Yeah, I usually pick about 3, and I stick with those.
Yep, I like that a lot. All right, boys, let's get into it. Let's make our lineup of the week. This is our touchdown calls of the week, where we each pick 2 players that we believe are going to get into the end zone. If you've been a fan of our show since we started, we are 6 for 8 in our lineups of the week, meaning they have cashed 6 out of 8 times. So let's continue the streak. Again, this is brought to you by the Legacy Lineup on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Listen to it. It is some good entertainment, and it is hilarious. So, Andrew, touchdown calls of the week. Who we feeling?
I'll give you a running back. Go ahead and lock in Aaron Jones.
Love it, love it, love it.
I think that'll give us a good start. I think we can build a good lineup around him. You want me to go ahead and give my second?
Yeah, go ahead.
My second touchdown call of the week is Darren Waller.
I love those picks. BJ,
and
go ahead.
We'll build
Yeah, I
around
mean, like I said, I like Josh Jacobs touchdown call for sure. And then I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Devontae Parker. My 2 touchdown calls.
Hopefully plays.
If he plays, if he doesn't play, let me give you another one.
No. I'm taking Emanuel Sanders as my touchdown call of the week. I think that's money. I might find a way to bet on that, to be honest with you. Anytime touchdown score. And see how much money we have. I was going to go expensive, but we'll go down a little bit.
Get you a prop, bub.
Get you a prop.
Here. Let's go.
We got Chiefs defense.
We do.
Get you a prop.
Let's go ahead and put that Chiefs defense in here and see what happens. How much money we got? 7,000. That's enough. But I just really, really like Myles Gaskin for some reason. Do I do it?
I 100% agree with that. I think if we play Myles Gaskin, we throw into a.
Yeah, I agree, and then spend up
the triple stack.
Huh? Yeah, I really do.
I don't hate it.
I think they score, dude. I think Dolphins score over 30.
I think that I'm gonna lock in Myles Gaskin, but not as my touchdown call of the week. See how much money this gives me left to pick, and I think I'm gonna pick 2 receivers this week.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Tua down here. We got 8,100 to spend.
Oh my
Deebo
goodness.
Samuel just screaming my name, guys.
I love Deebo, man. Why is he so good, dude? He makes me mad.
Why is he so good? 9, 11, 9, 13, 10. I've seen enough. Arizona's defense is not very good. Deebo Samuel, Emanuel Sanders, touchdown calls of the week. What do you guys think about this lineup? That's a damn good lineup.
I'm all in on it. Yeah. We got some high potent players there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great lineup, Mike.
Look at that lineup.
Darren Waller is going to get peppered with targets. I just know it. I have a feeling.
The triple Dolphin stack. Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, Sanders putting up a goose egg last week, coming back strong. And Deebo Samuel's been the most surprising player of the year, in my opinion.
I think does he lead the league in receiving yards?
Something.
He might. He's definitely top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's not like he does anything. He catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage and just runs through everybody.
I know.
So, this is our lineup of the week. Play this in your Fanduel, and hopefully you win some money. 6 for 8 on the year.
The odds say you will.
The odds do say you will. So, anything else that you guys want to talk about? We have 5
what do you guys think about
here.
tonight's slate?
Tonight's
slate?
Jonathan Taylor?
I love Jonathan Taylor. I think that's a lock as an MVP, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how Mike White performs.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's good, dude. He looked good. He loves checking down to the running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I think Michael Carter and Ty Johnson are both great players in the same.
Carter's a stud, man. He started off slow, but he's really coming into his own.
Mm-hmm. I think Pittman's in place for sure.
Yeah, Pittman for sure.
And then maybe a little Mo Allen Cox player could be a play.
I like this guy named Doolin. His last name is Doolin. He's a deep threat. He had 4 targets when T.Y. went out last week.
Corey Davis doesn't play.
See how that works. Nope. So there's a couple. See, that's where
Barrios.
Barrios, Keelan Cole, Mims, James. They got some receivers, man. So that's where it's going to be iffy to fix and win your money is who scores out of those guys. Because I guarantee you one of those receivers scores.
Did you end up
Guaranteed.
taking the spread? What'd you end up doing on that?
I took. I ended up taking Jets in the under.
You took the Jets, huh?
I took the Jets in the under.
Dang,
Wow.
I have a weird feeling the Colts are just going to mollywop them.
I swear the last couple weeks I've been keeping trends, man.
Mhm.
The plus points has covered every single week on prime time. Every single game.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I bet
crazy.
Tom Brady. -7. They're up 27.
Yeah.
They lose.
It's because you told me this game was over. You told me that was over.
Yeah.
It was 28-7. I was like,
I just want to say it's complete bullcrap that Oregon is number 4 in the country.
Yes.
I do not. I don't agree with it.
Mhm.
I don't agree with that top 4 at all. I think it's completely ridiculous.
The rankings literally make no sense. So if you want to start comparing losses, Alabama has the worst loss on that board probably.
They have the worst loss, and I watched it, and it was an ugly loss too.
And they
I
almost
heard
got beat by
This
Florida.
is the perfect description. Some guy on I seen on YouTube was talking. They're doing this. The reason why it's so weird is so teams like Wake Forest and Cincinnati can't get in.
Mhm.
They're basically saying, hey, even one loss, they're telling you these one loss teams are so high. That's why they put Oklahoma to make it seem even better for them not to let Cincinnati or anybody in. Because Oklahoma can still get in. They'll jump Cincinnati even if they're undefeated.
I was watching
That's
Joel
cool.
Klatt today, and he said, how does it make any sense for Mississippi State, who Alabama mollywopped, to be randomly ranked 17th, and Penn State to be out of the top 25 when if they were going to play each other, Penn State would be favored. So
they're just giving them a good win.
That makes them look. It makes Alabama look better. Okay, I might have overestimated. Alabama's loss wasn't that bad. Texas A&M's not a bad team. Oregon lost to Cal, I think, or something crazy. I forget who they lost to. Someone pretty decent. But yeah, that was some bullcrap.
It's frustrating.
It is. It just doesn't make sense. I'd like to see UC make it.
I agree.
But everyone controls their own destiny. Bama and Georgia have to play each other, but I mean, it seems like if they win out, it's a foregone conclusion that they're both going to be in.
But like you said in your guys' video yesterday, Cincinnati has to start getting those convincing wins if they want to.
Making themselves look bad.
They have to win by 25, 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
They have to.
Have to.
It's crazy, man. But the good thing is, man, as a Buckeye fan, we're set up to get in. All we got to do is win.
Yeah,
that's
just got to win.
What they did for us. Mm-hmm. We beat Michigan State. We'll be number 3 or number 2. We might jump Alabama, honestly. With that
Probably will.
Well, we did the whole show without me saying the F word today, so that's a plus. Congratulations to me. Thank you, everyone who tuned in to the Daily Football Fantasy Perspective, baby. Absolutely. Have a great night. Hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe.
And remember, this is our perspective.
See ya. Bye.